but we always start with an origin story. So, I'm going to put your LinkedIn profile up, but why don't you tell a little bit about who you are? How does that money and space intersection impact you? What you're doing, and then we'll go into more details.
Let's start by saying that my accent is from Argentina, so born and raised there. And I made my way into the US. I was trained as an MD originally, right? Then a PhD in biophysics. Went to the dark side, never came back. Had a lot of fun there. Did a postdoc after I did my research work in the East Coast, and I did a postdoc in the West Coast in radiation, and got very close to therapies that were cancer related, have patents around that, but space has a lot of radiation induced diseases. So that's kind of how I started my career in space, if you will. And when I patented a couple of things, I started seeing that pharmaceuticals were interested in our patents, and I had and going to the money thing here, I was a pretty decent scientist, but I knew nothing about how company works and then how to move a product through a pipeline, how to align that product to what the company wants. So after that, I was an investment fellow for 2.5 years, and so many pitch decks from companies. I was like, oh, maybe I can do this, that's when the confidence kicked in a little bit more. And in the pandemic, I saw all these second layer companies, capsules, new stations, and things kind of start to pop up. And they are absolutely, they're a wonder at aerospace, right? But maybe they're not very focused on the client and the product. So that's when I started focusing. Hey, I understand that part of uh, maybe biological development or materials development. I understand it pretty well. And I called a friend at Blue Origin in she is a wonder of a person. And she was very honest. She said, hey, I don't think you're gonna get it. You're out of your garage, but like just apply,
Right.
You'll get NASA feedback, and that would be great. Um the card that I was hiding from everybody maybe was that I called people that were like a director at a satellite company and so on. So my team was very strong. I was still out of my garage, and I thought I put my real address. So it was
Yeah,
like, if they Google this, you're gonna see a garage
sure.
door, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
I was like, and it was fine, right? And they actually did, to my surprise. Like the chief technology said, I actually Googled you, and I saw a house in the Bay Area. And
Right.
and you know what? I got it, and the chances were minimal. And after that, contract after contract after contract, and then the company grew. We moved to Reno. Now we have 3 labs. We flew 4 times to space in 2.5 years, and we're flying 3 missions now in the next quarter. So things grow. Things can start in a garage, even if they're cliche. And I always tell people it doesn't matter where you start, even if it's in the end of the world, being a medical doctor. I mean, just give it a try. You never know what happens.
I love that. I love that. Fun fact: we almost set up shop in Reno
Oh, really?
almost 24 years ago.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
yeah, yeah.
That
We
was
we
a
opened
very
with,
different city from now. Now we have
Oh,
it,
we were so fresh faced back then.
yeah,
Just
very, very different city than the one that we have now with Tesla, Sierra Nevada, Voyager, all these companies that are in town and growing right now.